Hello my dear learners, in my today's lecture we are going to study about a very important and very interesting topic, electrostatic fields. I think being as engineer you are very much aware about the term electrostatic fields. Generally you can say that it is the backbone, it is the basis of the complete electronics. And when we talk about the electrostatic fields, the first thing which comes in our mind, this is the charge. Definitely we are going to start our today's lecture with the term charge. What is charge and what is the association of this charge with the electrostatic fields? There is a minute difference between the electrostatic field and the electric field. Electrostatic field, it is basically the field which is time invariant, and electric field, it is the field which is time variant. So, first of all clear this two terms, electrostatic field and electric field. Okay. So, come to the main point as what is charge. We are going to start our lecture, and this is the introduction of electrostatic field. Electrostatic field is the field which is generated, which is produced by a charge, by a line charge, by a surface charge, by a volume charge. There can be four kind of the charge or combination of charges. We will start with the point charge. The electric charge is a fundamental property of matter, and charge exists in the integral multiple of electronic charge. It is a very important combination which is providing the result in the form of electrostatic field or electric field. We have to understand that how a charge can produce the electrostatic field. Electrostatics can be defined as the study of electric charges at rest. At rest means these are the charges which are time invariant, and electric fields have their sources in electric charges. There are two fundamental laws which are governing the electrostatic fields, and these are Coulomb's law and the Gauss's law, and these both the laws have experimental basis, and they are very much applicable in the electric field due to any charge or in the form of combination of charges, as I have told you, in the form of surface charge, line charge, volume charge. These are the combination and the different kind of distribution of charges. So, we are starting our today's lecture with the Coulomb's law, because we will get a very good understanding about the charge and the electrostatic field. Charges in the form of point charges. Point charges can be positive or negative. They are dimensionless, and when we are talking about the Coulomb's law, basically Coulomb's law is the basic fundamental law which provides us the force which is existing between the two charges, between the 2 point charges, and it states that the force between 2 point charges Q1 and Q2, it is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. it is a very important law which will be useful in most of the electric field applications everywhere. So, understand this Coulomb's law thoroughly, because there may be multiple interpretation and multiple cases for which you have to find out the force between the two charges. So, in the mathematical form, we can write it like F equal to K into Q1 Q2 upon R square. I can understand that this Coulomb's law is not very much unknown for the engineering students, because they have already studied about the Coulomb's law in their previous studies. But to understand it in a different way is required here, because we have to use this Coulomb's law for the different orientation in free space, for the different orientation in the coordinate systems. So, get a very thorough knowledge about the Coulomb's law. K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, it is a constant, it is a proportionality constant, and the term epsilon naught is called the permittivity of free space, and in SI units these Q1 and Q2 are expressed in the coulombs and R in meters and F is in newtons. What is electric field intensity? When we describe the force between two charges, we can also discuss the electric field intensity. What is the relationship between the electric field intensity and the force between two charges? Electric field intensity is a byproduct of this force between two charges, and it can be defined as it is the force experienced by a unit positive charge placed at that point. As I have already mentioned that the charge can be either positive or negative. So, electric field intensity is specified for a unit positive charge. So, you can say that electric field intensity is nothing but a force which is exerted on a positive unit charge and which is placed at that point. So, electric field intensity, it is a vector quantity, it is denoted by E, and the formula for the electric field is F upon Q. F is the force and Q is the unit positive charge. It means we can say that when a force exerted by a different charge on a unit positive charge, then the calculation is done for that particular test charge in the form of electric field intensity. More explanation in this slide is given for the electric field intensity, you can better understand. The electric field intensity or the electric field strength at a point is defined as the force per unit charge. How it can be written? It is written as E is equal to when limit Q tends to 0, then this F upon Q or E is equal to F upon Q is given as in the form of simply electric field intensity, and this electric field intensity E at a point R. R means this is the point which is the observation point, and it is due to a point charge Q located at source point, and this is given by the electric field intensity E is equal to Q, means this R vector and this R dash vector are different. When we have denoted the point P is the point where we have to calculate the electric field intensity, and O is the origin. This source region is given in the figure, and the distance from the origin to both of the points is different, and it is R dash and R. So, the resultant distance vector is given in the form of r minus r dash. This is a vector quantity r minus r dash, and this r minus r dash will be used as the distance. So, this formulation is given in the form of vector. Electric field intensity due to n number of charges. When it is a combination of multiple charges, then the formal notation of the electric field intensity can be written like this. For a collection of n point charges like q1, q2, q3 up to qn located at r1, r2 and up to rn, the electric field intensity E at point R is obtained as the resultant is given in the form of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught sigma any element, any charge which is in the jth position or kth position, it can be described when the sum of all the charges is going from 1 to n, and it is described for the kth charge. Electric field of a continuous charge distribution. In our previous slides, we were discussing the electric field intensity for the distributed charges like q1, q2, q3 and so on. But if we talk about the continuous charge distribution, this continuous charge distribution may be summarized in the form of 3 particular topics. The continuous charge distribution can be in the form of line, it can be in the form of surface, or it can be in the form of a volume. So, we will study all these 3 continuous charge distribution in terms of these 3 segments. First one is the line charge, second one is the surface charge, and the third one is the volume charge. How these 3 kind of charge distributions are defined. In the line charge distribution, this dq is defined like rho L dl. Here this rho L is the line charge density. In the surface charge distribution in the continuous form, this dq is defined as rho s ds, where rho s is the surface charge density, and in the form of volume it is defined as dq is equal to rho v into dv, where rho v is the volume charge density. It means the charge density can be shown in the form of line charge density, surface charge density and volume charge density. Okay? And these integral form like rho L dl, rho s ds, rho v dv and the line integral, surface integral and volume integral respectively are providing the complete charge. यानी कि q is equal to line integral of rho L dl, q is equal to surface integral rho s ds and q is equal to volume integral rho v dv. It is a very important slide and you have to understand. Now, we can calculate the electric field intensity by using these 3 kind of charge densities. The electric field intensity due to each of the charge distributions like rho L, rho s and rho v, they may be regarded as the summation of the field contributed by the numerous point charges making up the charge distribution. As I have already mentioned that these are the charge distribution in the continuous form. So, these are defined in terms of charge densities. It is a very important parameter in the electrostatics. So, by using the previous notations, we can calculate the electric field intensity for the line charge like this: E is equal to integral rho L dl upon 4 pi epsilon naught into r square into AR. It means this is the vector quantity, this is the vector which is defined in its radial direction. Okay. So, electric field intensity is always a vector which is defined in the radial direction. In the same way, when we define it in the terms of surface charge density, then electric field intensity is equal to surface integral of rho s ds upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square into A r. In the same way, when we talk about the volume charge density, this electric field intensity is equal to volume integral of rho v dV upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square into A r. These are the three significant formulations of the electric field intensity for the line charge density, surface charge density and volume charge density. Now, come to the point, what is electric flux and what is electric flux density? Electric flux or electric flux density, these are the derivations of the electrostatic field in the form of electric field intensity. Electric field intensity or simply electric field gives the strength of the field at a particular point. The electric field depends on the material media in which the field is being considered. The flux density vector, what is electric flux? In generalized form, the electric flux density D is defined as the epsilon E simply. I think this particular mathematical notation is sufficient to describe the whole theory of electric flux and electric flux density. D is equal to epsilon E, D, capital D. Capital D itself a very important, a very significant parameter in the electrostatics. The flux density vector is defined to be independent of the material media, as we will see that it relates to the charge that is producing it, and simply we can see that epsilon is the permittivity of the medium through which these electrostatic fields are generated. So, simply we can see that the complete flux, the complete electric flux can be defined by the surface integral of this electric field density in the form of its differential surface area. So, the notation for the electric flux is like psi, and this psi is equal to surface integral of d dot ds. Again, a very interesting thing comes here in the form of Maxwell's equation. In this slide, we will study a very important equation which is known as the Maxwell's equation. By using the Gauss's law, by using the divergence theorem, we can derive the Maxwell equation. As we know that Gauss's law states that the total electric flux psi through any closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by that surface. It is a very fundamental and very basic law of the Gauss, and very generalized, very much generalized used in the electrostatic field. So, as we know that this psi is equal to q max, and this psi is defined as integral of d psi, and it is equal to d dot ds, as we have seen in the previous slide. So, the total charge enclosed can also be given in the form of volume charge density like volume integral rho v dv, and by applying the divergence theorem in the previous equation, we can put the value of this like surface integral of d dot ds is equal to volume integral of del dot d dv, and by using this equation we can put the value of del dot d in terms of rho v, which is the volume charge density. and it is a very well known Maxwell equation which provides us the del dot D is equal to rho v, and it is the first of the 4 Maxwell equations to be derived equation, and it states that the volume charge density is the same as the divergence of the electric flux density, because this del dot D is defined as the divergence of electric flux density D. Gauss's law, it is an alternative statement of the Coulomb's law, and proper application of the divergence theorem to Coulomb's law results in the Gauss's law. It means this Coulomb's law and the Gauss's law both are related to each other. We can derive the Coulomb's law by using the Gauss law, and we can derive the Gauss law by using the Coulomb's law. So, for you it is important to understand both the laws in the electrostatic field, Gauss's law and the Coulomb's law. Now, we will study what are the different applications of Gauss's law. In the electrostatic field, we will consider the different applications in the form of point charge, line charge, surface charge and volume charge, and the different derivations are done for all these cases. The first case is for the point charge. The procedure for applying Gauss's law to calculate the electric field involves first knowing whether symmetry exists or not. Once symmetric charges distribution exists, we construct a mathematical closed surface known as the Gaussian surface. What is Gaussian surface? You can understand the Gaussian surface for the different cases, and this Gaussian surface is different for point charges, for line charges, for surface charges, for volume charges. It is in the form of point, it is in the form of line, it is in the form of surface, and it is in the form of volume. These are the Gaussian, and these Gaussian interpretations are used to derive the electric flux density for these particular different cases. And the single equation can define the complete mathematical analysis of this electric flux density. In all the slides, you can see that in the form of point charge, we denoted the electric flux density for this particular case as q upon 4 pi r square a r. This is simple electric flux density. You can obviously see that Coulomb's law is very similar to the formulation of electric flux density, because as we know that D is equal to epsilon E, and when we put the value of this epsilon, then it becomes in the form of Coulomb's law. Okay. So, simply in the case of this, it means when we utilize the Gauss's law for the infinite line charge, we can put the value of total charge q like d dot ds, and when this d dot ds is applied for the line charge, then it comes in the form of electric flux density like rho l upon 2 pi rho into a rho. And this is the mathematical formulation and notation for the electric flux density for the infinite line charge. The infinite sheet of charge, how the electric flux density or electric field intensity can be defined in the terms of surface charge density. The notations are given like this, and when this Gaussian surface of this particular infinite sheet of charge is given and the integration are taken for both the cases for top and bottom, then the complete electric flux density is given as rho s by 2 into a z, where this is the unit vector in z direction. In the same way, the electric field intensity E is derived as rho s upon twice epsilon naught into A z. These mathematical notations are important and you have to understand all these mathematical formulations for formulating the different mathematical problems and numerical analysis. This is again a case of uniformly charged sphere. This is a case of volume, and when we are talking about the volume, then volume charge density rho v comes into the picture, and this by using the rho v volume charge density, the complete electric flux or the complete charge enclosed can be derived for the differential volume strip of an sphere, and it is r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. In the spherical coordinate system, it is a differential volume or a differential strip of the sphere, and when we integrate it by using the different limits for the theta and phi, we get the result in the form of like this, when this d or electric flux density comes as r by 3 rho s n 2 theta r. This is the final result in the terms of electric flux density for the uniformly charged sphere. These are also the different notations for the sphere. Consideration of a sphere for the different charge density is a very important aspect, because as I have already mentioned that in electromagnetic radiation, for the distribution of the electric field, electric flux intensity, density, all these parameters are very much defined for the sphere, because we always consider the free space in the form of a sphere, and we have to get the parameters in the spherical front. This is the electric potential. It is a very similar and very calculative method to find the electric potential. The electric potential at any point is the potential difference between that point and a chosen the point at which potential is 0. This is simply electric potential, and it is also used in many of the electric field applications. This is the basic formulation, this is the basic mathematics, and the different equations are used to derive the potential difference between the 2 points A and B, and here we have used the electric field intensity at the different points A and B, and after the formulations we can get the potential difference between A and B in the form of VAB, which is equal to VB minus VA. So, this lecture was a basic introduction of electrostatic fields. In this lecture, I have only discussed the charge density, the electrostatic field, the field intensity, electric flux density, and the different applications of the Gauss's law on the basis of Coulomb's law. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.